The promise of the Blue site was always direct access to your favorite creators, but the 2020 debut of actress Bella Thorne became the catalyst for a total platform meltdown that changed the industry forever. While the public narrative was one of a record-breaking celebrity arrival, the internal reality was a chaotic storm of alleged financial manipulation and policy shifts that nearly bankrupted independent workers. Bella Thorne didn't just join the platform, she arguably broke its business model in a single week. For years, the adult industry had operated as a wild west of high-ticket transactions and instant payouts. But when a mainstream Disney star walked through the door and walked out with $2 million in 7 days, the fallout was immediate. The common belief is that Thorne simply outpaced the competition with her celebrity clout. However, the contrarian reality, backed by testimony from creators like Erica Heidewald and reports from the Los Angeles Times in August 2020, suggests that Thorne's debut functioned as an alleged inside job that prioritized celebrity hype over platform stability. Today, we are following the money and the digital receipts to answer 3 critical questions. How did Thorne allegedly use pay-per-view baiting to secure millions? Why did her success lead to a permanent cap on every other creator's income? And most importantly, who actually paid the price for this celebrity experiment? Per the initial reports on August 20, 2020, Thorne's arrival was a marketing masterclass. She claimed her move was for research, working alongside director Sean Baker for a film about the industry. However, by August 28th, Baker had publicly denied any involvement, stating he only advised her team to consult with actual workers to avoid causing harm. This brings us to our first major revelation, the alleged bait and switch. According to thousands of disgruntled subscribers on Reddit and Twitter, Thorne allegedly sent out a pay-per-view message priced at $200. The caption allegedly promised a fully nude photo, a rare occurrence for a mainstream actress. When fans paid the fee, they discovered the image was actually a professional lingerie shot, similar to what she posted for free on Instagram. This sparked a massive wave of refund requests. Per the Hagens-Berman legal analysis of similar platform disputes, these mass chargebacks are a nightmare for payment processors. When a platform is hit with millions of dollars in refund demands at once, it triggers a security red flag that puts the entire site's banking relationships at risk. The volume of complaints was so high that the platform's customer service department was essentially paralyzed for several days. While the nude photo controversy was the spark, the most shocking point of this entire scandal involves the permanent financial damage dealt to independent creators. Around the 3-minute mark of this timeline, we see the platform's drastic response. On August 28, 2020, OnlyFans implemented a site-wide policy change that was allegedly a direct result of the Thorne fallout. They capped all pay-per-view messages at $50 and limited tips to $100. For creators who had built their entire livelihoods on high-value custom content, often charging hundreds for personalized videos, this was a catastrophic blow. But the secondary blow was even worse: the payout delay. Previously, creators could access their funds within 7 days. After the Thorne incident, the platform extended the pending period to 30 days for many regions. Per an interview with creator Rebecca Madison in August 2020, this meant thousands of workers suddenly couldn't pay their rent or bills. They were essentially being punished for a celebrity's alleged experiment that they never asked for. This policy shift didn't just hurt the top earners, it decimated the ability of smaller creators to manage their cash flow. Many were forced to take out high-interest loans just to cover their basic expenses, while their earned income sat in a frozen digital vault for a full month. This leads us to the second pillar of the scandal, the celebrity migration versus the worker reality. Thorne's reported earnings were staggering, over $1 million in her first 24 hours. Per a report by Variety, the influx of traffic was so high it crashed the site multiple times. However, the financial receipts showed that this wealth was not distributed back into the community she claimed to be normalizing. While Thorne initially promised the money would go to her production company and charity, the immediate effect was the gentrification of a space that served as a safety net for many during the global lockdowns. Per the BIPOC Adult Industry Collective statement in September 2020, Thorne was accused of poverty tourism. She entered a space where workers face real-world stalking, banking bans, and social stigma, extracted millions using tactics that led to stricter rules, and then issued a Twitter apology while the independent workers were left with capped incomes and 30-day wait times for their own money. The apology apology was seen by many as a hollow gesture, as it did nothing to reverse the actual damage done to the platform. In the months that followed, several high-profile creators left the platform entirely, citing a lack of trust in a company that would change the rules of the game overnight to accommodate a single celebrity. The complexity of this situation goes even deeper when we look at the platform's defense. In a statement to Mashable on August 28, 2020, an OnlyFans spokesperson claimed that the new transaction limits were not based on any one user. However, the timing was too perfect to be ignored. Independent data from social tracking sites showed that the refund volume for Thorne's $200 pay-per-view was likely the largest single-event chargeback in the platform's history. This created a liquidity crisis for the site. If the platform had to pay out Thorne's millions while simultaneously processing millions in refunds, they would have been operating at a massive loss. The 30-day hold was a classic corporate move to stabilize cash flow at the expense of the workers. This is the inside job reality. The platform allegedly prioritized the public relations win of a celebrity over the survival of the people who actually built the site's value. Furthermore, internal leaks suggested that the platform was already under pressure from banking institutions like JP Chase and Bank of America to tighten their verification and refund policies. The Thorne incident gave the platform the perfect cover to implement these restrictive measures under the guise of platform safety, when in reality it was about protecting their bottom line and keeping their banking partners happy. Beyond the immediate financial fallout, the psychological impact on the creator community was profound. For years, these individuals had fought for legitimacy and a seat at the digital economy. They viewed the Blue site as a sanctuary where they held the power. But the Thorne incident shattered that illusion of autonomy. According to a 2021 study on digital labor from the University of Leicester, creators felt that the platform had treated them as disposable assets. The narrative shifted from one of empowerment to one of exploitation. Many creators pointed out the irony of a mainstream celebrity receiving praise for normalizing the work, while they continued to face shadow banning on Instagram and Twitter. This double standard became a major point of contention. While Thorne was being interviewed by major outlets about her groundbreaking move, actual industry veterans were being deplatformed for sharing the exact same type of content. The resentment grew as it became clear that the rules were being applied unevenly. A celebrity could allegedly mislead thousands of fans and keep their account, but an independent creator could be banned for a minor terms of service violation without any path to appeal. As we move into the middle of this saga, we must examine the role of the management agencies involved. Reports from early 2021 suggested that Thorne's team was not acting alone, but was being advised by high-level consultants who specialized in celebrity brand extensions. These consultants allegedly saw the Blue site not as a community to join, but as a harvestable resource. They applied traditional Hollywood marketing tactics, high-pressure sales, timed drops, and teased exclusives to a platform that relied on a more organic, slow-burn relationship between creator and fan. Per a deep dive by the Daily Beast, this corporate approach to spicy content created a disconnect that the platform wasn't prepared to handle. The Hollywoodization of the site led to an influx of low-effort, high-cost content that alienated long-term subscribers. This influx of celebrity tourists created a bubble that eventually burst, leaving the permanent workers to clean up the mess. The management agencies involved took their commission and moved on to the next trend, while the creators who relied on the site for their daily bread were left with a platform that was now more restrictive and less profitable than it had been just weeks prior. The legal ramifications of this incident were also significant. While no direct lawsuit was successful against Thorne herself, the incident prompted several consumer protection groups to look into the platform's refund policies. Per a report by the Better Business Bureau in late 2020, complaints against the site skyrocketed by over 400% in the month of August alone. Most of these complaints were related to the inability to get refunds for content that was deemed misleading. This pressure from consumer watchdogs is likely what led to the implementation of more rigorous content descriptions and automated refund tools that we see in 2026. However, these tools also made it easier for malicious users to scam creators by viewing content and then immediately filing a dispute. Again, the solution to a celebrity-sized problem created a whole new set of issues for the average worker. The platform's attempt to fix the trust gap created by Thorne ended up creating a new security gap that bad actors could exploit. As we look at the industry in 2026, the Bella Thorne effect is still visible and tangible. The caps on tips and pay-per-view content largely remain in many regions, forcing creators to move toward volume-based models rather than high-ticket exclusivity. This favors agencies and creators with a massive reach, who can afford to play the numbers game, while making it harder for micro-creators to earn a living wage from a dedicated small following. Per industry analysis by Net Influencer, this shift towards celebrity-style management is what directly led to the rise of the massive chatter agencies we see today. Thorne's debut proved that the platform could handle celebrity-sized numbers, but it also proved that the platform would pivot against its core users the moment a corporate risk appeared. The impact on Thorne's own career was minimal. She remains a top earner on the site, often appearing in the top 10 lists alongside names like Cardi B and Iggy Azalea. But for the thousands of creators who were deplatformed or financially crippled by the 2020 policy shifts, the research she conducted was a life-altering disaster. The long-term legacy of this inside job is a fundamental change in the relationship between creators and platforms. Before August 2020, there was a sense of partnership. After the Thorne incident, it became strictly transactional and often adversarial. Creators began to diversify their income streams, moving to platforms like Fansly or Patreon to avoid having all their eggs in one basket that could be crushed by the next celebrity entry. Per a 2025 creator survey, over 60% of top-tier adult performers now use at least 3 different platforms to mitigate the risk of sudden policy changes. This decentralization of the industry is a direct response to the instability Thorne's debut exposed. The celebrity experiment proved that no matter how much money you make for a platform, you are never more important than their banking relationships or their mainstream reputation. The summary of the Bella Thorne empire is that it wasn't built on content, but on a fundamental misunderstanding of the industry's delicate balance. We have seen how the promise of nudes led to a chargeback crisis that threatened the site's survival. We have seen how corporate panic led to permanent income caps that targeted the most vulnerable workers. And we have seen how a celebrity's research became a worker's reality. The insider takeaway is that when a mainstream name enters a niche space, the platform will always protect the name, not the niche. The rules of the game were rewritten in a single week in August, and the small creators are still playing by those restricted rules today. The inside job wasn't just about one person making a lot of money. It was about the system revealing its true priorities. If you want to understand the secret contracts that allow celebrities to bypass the rules while others get banned, and the full story of how the Blue site turned into a corporate machine that prioritizes shareholders over its creators, you need to see the Velvet Rope Industry Secrets playlist next. This isn't just history, it's the blueprint for how these platforms operate today.